We are shown a dark jungle at the start of the film. A child is seen running away from someone, or perhaps being scared of someone. The scene cuts, and we see a red bus driving through the road, passing through this jungle. Further down, the bus is blocked by a fallen tree, so the driver decides to take another route, unaware of the danger ahead. We catch glimpses of skeletons on the side of the road. As the bus moves forward, we notice that all the trees have been chopped down. Suddenly, there's a loud noise echoing all around. A child in the bus becomes frightened and looks towards the road as the driver slams on the brakes, bringing the bus to an abrupt halt. The driver steps out and sees a dead deer lying in the middle of the road. As he moves the deer and turns around, he's shocked by what he sees. When the driver returns to the bus, there is a man standing behind him, holding him at gunpoint. The man threatens the children, ordering everyone to stay in their seats. Terrified, everyone obeys him. Suddenly, one of the children remembers seeing this man in the news. He's a serial killer who recently escaped from jail. The most chilling part? This man only targets teenagers. He claims to be a psychopath, which said that he was heading towards an empty military zone. This is an area where research was done years ago, but now no one used to live there. There was a tunnel in which a lot of lights were on at this time, and his bus suddenly stops in this tunnel. He found out that the engine of the bus had broken down, and the psychopath killer thought that the driver was playing tricks on him. That's why he took a child to the gunpoint and told the driver to get down and repair the bus in front of him. If anyone tries to play tricks, I will kill this child. Meanwhile, the lights of this tunnel suddenly went off. All of them suddenly got scared. Suddenly, they started hearing scary noises in this dark tunnel. The killer pointed to the driver to go and see what was there. The driver also took his torch and moved forward. As he kept moving towards the darkness, he started seeing a shadow. When he got closer, he found out that it was a terrifying-looking monster. The driver screamed in fear, and the monster grabbed him by the chest and killed him. The people sitting inside the bus were seeing all this. The killer also quickly came inside the bus with the girl. These people started screaming. The killer tells them to be quiet so that the monster can't see or hear, and tries to start the bus quickly. But there was no key to the bus here. It was still in the driver's hand, which the monster had killed. He gives these children the task of getting the key from the driver. As soon as the girl went to the driver in fear to get the key, she was shocked to see him. He was dead. The girl couldn't believe it. Her tears started coming out of her eyes. But this was not the time to cry. She carefully took the key from the driver and returned to the bus. Even sitting in the bus, she was in a strange condition. When the other children ask her about the driver, she shakes her head in no, because he was no longer alive. Hearing this, all the children were sad. Here, the killer tells the boy named Reggie to start the bus. But the bus was broken. How would it start? He threatens him that if you don't start the bus, I will kill all of them. The boy was also very angry with the rest. Without fear, he starts arguing with this killer. And as soon as the opportunity comes, a child pushes him from behind. He fell down, so Reggie suddenly took a gun from his hand and then pointed it at him. Seeing this, the killer started laughing. But he said, "You can't kill me. Hey, you need a lot of courage to kill, which you didn't lose." Before the boy did anything, he suddenly heard a voice from the bus roof. This voice destroyed everyone, and the killer took the gun from him again. Now the voices coming from the bus had also increased, because of which all the children get scared, and in anger, the killer gets off the bus and starts shouting, "Whoever you are, get out of the darkness. Face me." He was saying all this. Suddenly his speech stopped. A strange smile came on his face, and suddenly someone attacked him. The attacker had separated his head from the house, and the children were shocked to see this from inside the bus. They were silent, because they could see the creature of that man's head and that terrifying creature in the hand of the monster. He had a lot of tentacles in his hand, which he had stuck in this man's head. They didn't understand what to do. These people now decide to stay in this bus to save their lives. But until then, they couldn't hear any strange sounds from outside their bus. The door of the bus opened with a creaking sound, and they saw the big hands of that monster on the seat of the bus. This monster had come inside the bus. To escape from it, they started running down the other door of the bus. But this door didn't open. He had a torch in his hand. By mistake, when his face goes towards the monster, he notices that the monster is afraid of this light. Taking advantage of this, he kept the monster away from the light. By the time the door of their bus opened, they got off the bus. Keeping the light towards the monster, they kept running towards the light and reached a bunker. There was also a room in this bunker, on which there was a map of this whole place. Looking at this, they find out that this is a military base. And if this was a military base, then there could have been a light and a control panel here. And if they wanted to stay away from that monster, then somehow they had to turn on that control panel so that the lights here would turn on and the monster would stay away from them. And finally, they were able to escape. They find the control panel and decide to turn it on. Keeping the map, they make a plan and think about where that control panel could be. Nolan and his partner go to find the power point. While sitting here, these three were spending their time in a strange way. Now these two boys say that I have to go to the washroom. Finally, she couldn't go because she was scared. That's why Reggie went with her. Reggie was bothering her while talking to her. That's why now Queenie wasn't answering him. It's been a long time. When Queenie was turning towards him, he felt something strange. So finally, he turned around and saw that Queenie wasn't there. He lost his mind. Screaming loudly, he started looking for Queenie here and there. His other friend also found out that Queenie is missing. These people started looking for Queenie in this whole area. And finally, they reached a place where they saw Queenie. But at that time, there was a monster on Queenie. A terrifying monster that was about to bite Queenie on the neck and eat her. Queenie's condition was as if she was unconscious. Here Reggie shows the monster a fire and distracts it, while his other friend managed to get Queenie out of it, seeing whom they happily went to them. This happiness was only for a moment, because the next moment they saw a mark on Queenie's neck. It was a wound, a very deep wound, from which blood was coming out. It was because of that monster's bite. It could have been that now Queenie gets infected and turns into that monster. And one of them says that maybe we shouldn't keep Queenie with us. But these people don't do that. They keep Queenie with them to get information about what is going to happen with Queenie. They go back to the same room, where they got a lot of notes about that monster. From the many notes there, they pick up a notebook and start reading it. This was a story of a boy who loved to explore new places with his sister. And one day they came to this military base while exploring. The boy who wrote this story, he kept looking at the map and he was left behind, while his sister kept reading ahead. And suddenly, he got shocked, as if he saw something weird in the tunnel. His brother was standing behind him. As soon as he looked at him, it was too late. There was a scream coming from the tunnel. He got scared, and instead of saving his sister, he started running towards the jungle so that he can save his life and go from here. This is the same scene that we saw at the start of the movie. This time, this boy left from here, but now this incident remained in his mind. This thing remained in his heart. This is the same thing that we saw at the boy survived, but was haunted by the memory of his sister's death and the creature that killed her over the years. She couldn't forget, so he searched the creature and even built a machine to kill it. However, before he could execute his plan, the creature found him and killed him first through his notes. They learned that the creature never left its prey alive after attacking orbiting them. Queenie was now in grave danger. The group resolved to fight the monster and complete the man's unfinished work by finishing the machine and killing the creature despite Queenie's objections, saying she didn't want to endanger anyone else. Her friends reassured her that they would all survive. After a embrace, they began working on the plan. After some effort, they completed the man's machine, and it was fully operational. They were delighted, but the main task was still ahead, luring the monster into the machine. They laid out Queenie's blood-soaked clothes in an open area to attract the creatures, so the creature appeared drawn by the scent. However, it realized that Queenie wasn't there at the same time. Nolan tried to trigger the machine, but it malfunctioned. The monster began chasing Queenie, but just before it could attack, the group managed to activate the machine, casting bright light on the creature. The monster released Quinny, and she and her companions quickly fled the tunnel. One of their companions stabbed the creature, but it wasn't enough to kill it. Left with no other option, the group decided. Toescape carrying torches, they ran, but the monster was right behind them. The two girls managed to exit the tunnel and breathe a sigh of relief, but their friend hadn't made it out yet, and the monster was blocking their way, just as the girls were about to lose hope. Their three friends emerged from the tunnel, having set the monster on fire. The creature was consumed by the flames, and their plans exceeded. They had killed the monster and saved themselves. Not only that, but they had eliminated the danger for anyone else who might come across the area in the future, which filled them with happiness. In the final scene, the group remembered their driver, who had posed a riddle to them. What is the one thing that gets us out of every difficult situation? At the time, they hadn't known the answer, but now they understood. It was courage. The driver had taught them a valuable lesson, even in his dying moments, one that would help them throughout their lives. And with that, the story comes to an end.